At Wind River Resort and Casino, we like to celebrate life's little moments. Oh, and the big ones too, because around here, when you're completely in the moment, that's when the magic happens. Come in and find your moment at Wind River Resort and Casino.
Good morning, everyone. Meteorologist Mike Krueger from Weather NorCal. Looks like we are all up and running. My hair's a little disheveled. There, we fixed it. Very simple, very easy chat. Well, hey, how you doing this morning? It is Friday morning, August 16th. Not a bad start to the day, although it is a little, I guess you could say, a little hazy out there. I'll be honest with you, I was anticipating, and of course, the forecast models are indicating that it was going to be a little smoky in the valley this morning, and it doesn't look like that really materialized. And there's a couple of reasons for that. Number one, we have to remember when we look at the smoke forecast, and I suppose I could have mentioned that when we look at the smoke forecast, that smoke forecast determines on the activity coming in from the fire. And we just didn't see as much activity out of the Boise fire as anticipated, so as a result, less smoke. Now, good for two reasons. Number one, less activity for the Boise fire. It did grow. We didn't see any new containment, but it didn't grow by much, and it didn't produce a lot of smoke. And as a result, many of us are seeing better air quality than was anticipated this morning. So we'll certainly take that. We'll tell you what, for those of you that are just checking in this morning and want to get a quick forecast, let's take a look at Krueger's Quickcast. This is just a quick look at the forecast so you can get on with your day. Through the morning and in the afternoon, you know what to expect. Out there, the temperatures right now are generally in the mid to upper 60s for most of us in the valley. The warm spot in Chico at 70 degrees this morning. We are sitting at about 52 degrees out in Susanville at the current hour, 47 degrees out in El Turris, and there you can see along the coast, we're looking at those temperatures in the low to mid 50s. All right, let's go and take a look at those visibilities, and it's looking a lot better out there this morning, especially along the coast. We take a look at the camera here for Elk Country north of Trinidad, and we're seeing some pretty nice weather out there. Actually, just looks like some what we call stratus, kind of those higher clouds, not quite at the surface. And of course, that's the case what we're looking at here out towards Crescent City. Now, this is out at the Crescent City Harbor District, kind of in the south part of town, and just a nice shot right there. And of course, you can see the lighthouse off there in the distance as well. So we'll certainly take that. Of course, if you're along the coast, you'll certainly take that as far as not seeing much in the way of that fog out there. So again, you can kind of see that visibility is sitting at about 10 miles plus, really, out along the coast, and not to mention many of those inland areas as well. Okay, let's go and take a look at out the door this morning. And what we're seeing here are temperatures in the mid-50s for the coast. Of course, you can see the overcast skies, hazy for the valley in Trinity County. Hazy, but really, quite honestly, not very smoky. Not that bad. But again, we are seeing some of the haze and smoke coming in from the Boise fire. I do expect to see mainly sunny skies over Siskiyou, Modoc County, and the eastern mountains. So again, the yellow indicating at least a haze. You'll probably not, you may have a faint smell of smoke for especially the north end of the valley and in Trinity County. As you get closer to the fire, you'll probably have a better smell of that smoke. Then we take you into this afternoon, and you can see conditions will improve. So I do have hazy skies in the forecast for the valley in Trinity County, but keep in mind that's mainly in the morning. I do expect those conditions to improve as we take you through the afternoon, and of course going into tonight as well. All right, here's a look at Futurecast. Don't expect any more thunderstorms for today, but we could see a stray sprinkle or a light shower for parts of Siskiyou County, a few afternoon clouds there, and a few afternoon clouds even for the north end of the valley looks like, but I don't anticipate any rainfall. But look off to the northwest part of your screen there. That's the next storm system that will be approaching later on tonight and tomorrow, and that will mean rain in the forecast. Now, one of the things you don't get with Krueger's Quickcast is going really beyond today. So if you want to find out more on this weekend storm system, you'll want to stick around after we do the fire coverage. Here's what we expect here for today. There again in the hazy skies for the valley, Trinity County, even parts of Siskiyou County as well. Otherwise, plenty of sunshine. And really, honestly, probably more sunshine, especially for central, eastern Siskiyou County and Modoc County, not to mention the eastern mountains. And taking a look at your 7-day outlook. Well, there it is on Saturday. You've got the chance for thunderstorms for Redding, Red Bluff. Now, notice in Chico I put partly cloudy and a chance. That's because as you head south of Redding and even Red Bluff, the chances for showers and thunderstorms will be smaller. So I don't expect to see much, if anything, for the Chico area. And then, of course, for everyone in the valley, it's dry Sunday, sunny skies. Temperatures in the upper 80s throughout the weekend. The normal high is about 97, 98 for this time of the year. So that's 10 degrees below normal. That is phenomenal. All right, take a look at that 7-day forecast for the coast. Showers, thunderstorms tomorrow, as well as inland and not to mention Trinity County. Now, I have put a chance in there for Sunday. Now, that's mainly for the coast. Sunday morning, there may be a few lingering sprinkles and light showers. But for the most part, the second half of the weekend is dry and dry through next week with, of course, slightly warmer temperatures. Taking a look at your Siskiyou County, Modoc County, and Eastern Mountains. So again, things get a little bit interesting here. So for Siskiyou County, yeah, thunderstorms tomorrow. Alturas, Modoc County, honestly, the more I look at the latest forecast models, I may even take that PM out. Now, we could be looking at a slight chance for a stray shower or even a thunderstorm tomorrow evening in Modoc County. But for Susanville, Eastern Mountains, no. However, I will say this, places like Bernie, Shingletown, Viola, Fall River Mills, right? All of these areas, MacArthur, all of those areas could be looking at the potential of getting on the very eastern, southeastern fringe of where that shower activity and thunderstorms will be. So just kind of keep that in mind when you look at that Eastern Mountains forecast. Just kind of depends on where you are. All right, we take a look at that purple air quality. And, you know, this is what's to be expected. Again, you can see the air quality is a bit better in, especially south of Redding, than was anticipated. We've got actually pretty good air quality south of Redding. But we actually have kind of decreased air quality this morning in the Redding area, not to mention east of the Boise fire. But, of course, near the Park fire, conditions are much better than when, of course, it was just a few weeks ago. So things are certainly looking better there. All right, let's get you ready to the fires, folks, and kind of see what's going on with that. So here's the Park fire, the biggest fire, right? 49% contained. Now, if you watched my 6 o'clock forecast, it was saying 47%. And this is one of the things that I mentioned. When I'm doing my forecast in the morning, a lot of times the data is from last night. And then typically shortly after my morning update at 6 o'clock in the morning, that's when the new data comes out, wouldn't you know? So that's one of those things I kind of like to say is that Coffee with Krueger is going to be the best place to go when you want the latest on the fires and kind of the details that you want. All right, so there you can see at 49% containment, just over 429,000 acres. We haven't seen the acreage grow, looks like over the last several days. And this is the area that's been the biggest concern. And this hasn't grown either. We haven't seen any change here in that fire perimeter. So Mineral, Mill Creek, Childs Meadows still in good shape. The fire perimeter is outside of those areas. Obviously good news. Let's take you out to the Boise fire. This has changed as well, the acreage, but not by much, only by a few hundred acres since the last report from this morning. Still at 0% containment. Now here's what I'm going to say about that 0% containment. This is when people start getting concerned, especially, you know, the fire has been going on for a while and people are like, why is it still at 0% containment? When are we going to get containment on this fire? Well, the firefighters, when they did a press conference, or, you know, they kind of did their little YouTube video kind of explaining what's going on. What the officials were saying is that people are asking them and concerned that it's still at 0% containment, but not to worry, that they do have really a good handle on many parts of the fire. But they know that, especially in the conditions they're in very challenging conditions, folks. That is a very rough, steep terrain, kind of it just a lot of mountains, valleys, ridges, all of that, right? And drainages, all of that. Very steep, difficult terrain for the firefighters. So they're dealing with that, number one. And number two, just dealing with the potential for some strong winds on Saturday and things that, you know, it's a very unforgiving landscape. And so they're basing the decision not to show any containment based off their 20 to 30 years experience in the industry. And what they're saying is that they've got a good handle on it, but until they are 100% sure that they know that that containment line is going to hold, they're not going to report any containment. All right, so just kind of keep that in mind. You know, they've got a really good hold on that ridge just to the east of Orleans. I haven't seen that move. In fact, that was a firing operation where they put that on the ridge, and then they allowed that, basically gave the fire less to burn as it got up to their firing operation, and it's been able to hold. All right, so that's good to know. All right, so let's take you, kind of zoom it out here and take a look at the perimeter and its distance to Hoopa. About 14.5 miles. Haven't seen it grow any closer to the Hoopa area. And really, looking at the fire perimeter itself, it's just kind of filled in. A lot of the empty spots have kind of filled in. But we haven't seen it really push outside of the main fire perimeter that much. Soames Bar, you got a couple of ridges to go over before you get to Soames Bar. 6.1 miles there. Again, kind of showing you. I mean, look at the terrain. Look at the terrain of that fire. I mean, that's really a lot of steep terrain that they've got to contend with. So imagine them trying to drive in there. I do know that they got some smoke jumpers that are going in there as well because of the terrain, and they can't get to some parts of the fire by road. So that's where the smoke jumpers come in. Let's take a little bit closer to Orleans again, give you some perspective. That ridge, to see how the blue line starts and then goes to Orleans at 2.5 miles, that's the ridge where they had the firing operation again, and I haven't seen it move past that ridge last several days. So the fire burned up to their firing operation and then it stopped. So mission accomplished, at least at this point. Now, most likely, there's a chance they could put a containment line there, but we can't say that for sure. Again, that's all going to be under their discretion as to whether or not they want to issue the fact that there's containment. So don't be too concerned that there's 0% containment. And one of the reasons being is we're not seeing a ton of growth. Yes, it's still growing, no doubt about that, but it's growing at a much slower pace than when that fire first started. We take a look at the Boise fire now, looking at the latest heat signatures. And look where most of the firing activity has been. And some of that could be some of their firing operations. You'll notice on the north end, there's a little bit there, and then down to the south and east as well. So we'll go ahead and put that fire perimeter on there. And yeah, I mean, things are in pretty good agreement there. You can kind of see those arms that are coming outside of the main fire. What is that? What is that? Boise fire. Let me take that out of there because that shouldn't be in there. Boom. Sorry about that. Let me save that. Oh boy, I tell you what. But yeah, so it's over 10,000 acres as we reported, as I showed you that here just a second ago. But again, you can see the white, kind of the arms that are coming out of the main fire going into where we're seeing the latest, fire heat signatures, that is. So red indicates about 6 to 12 hours old. And then, of course, the yellows and oranges, you're getting more and more old in that data. So really that core of that fire, you're just not seeing a lot of activity here in the last several days. Again, it's the north end of the fire. But that's, again, due to the firing operations, the fire has to grow to those firing operations. And a lot of that is from it filling in a little bit here. So that's kind of what we're looking at there as well. And, of course, some of their firing operations, too. By the way, too, kind of interesting what they are mentioning is that some of the dozer lines that they're creating, they're actually able to go to some old dozer lines and work off of those from previous fires. All right, so they're actually got a little bit of a head start because of the previous fires on some of those dozer lines. So that's kind of good news. A little less work for them and kind of get faster on it too. All right, let's see if there's any questions about these fires. If there's anything you're concerned about here. We got a lot of good mornings and all that good stuff. Thank you all so much for your good mornings. But let's get to the fire weather now. Again, we'll talk about the smoke. A little hazy out there today in the valley as we're seeing here this morning, and then that will improve later on this afternoon, and not to mention tonight. We look at the winds right now, they're not that much of an issue. We look at the afternoon, not actually much of an issue either. They're going to be weaker than they've been over the last few days, so that is also going to obviously help the firefighters. The humidity levels are still going to be rather low, but we're still down to into the teens, 15% near Chico. And of course, still that higher humidity. And one of the things that the firefighters have been mentioning is that they have had higher humidity levels over the last few days over the Boise fire, and that has certainly helped in their efforts as well. So the fire weather risk, again, this is just kind of looking at should a new fire start, how rapidly will it spread? So when you start getting into the high to very high, it can spread rapidly. So as you can see here, we're in that moderate range for the valley and parts of the eastern mountains as well. And we take a look at some of those cameras out there this morning. There's a look at Lake Oroville. There you can see the dam released there. We take a look at Lake Oroville, North Forebay. The lake smooth like glass. Just beautiful sight there. Not much haze, not a lot of smoke. There you can see Main Street, Chico. Nobody's on the road this morning. Oh, there's one. Looks like they're going a little fast. But not much traffic out there this morning. Maybe people are calling in sick. Not as much traffic on Highway 99 at Neal Road either. But looks like, bottom line, looks like we do have some traffic out there. And it's flowing along just fine. Taking a look at Highway 44 at Sundial Bridge Drive. Well, of course, traffic is flowing smoothly there. And today is Pet of the Week, sponsored by Cottonwood Vet and Small Animal Clinic. And my wife, Sadie, went out there yesterday to meet Charlie. Was it Charlie? Yes, no, Chucky, our Pet of the Week. So here it is.
Welcome everyone, I'm Sadie Krueger with Weather NorCal, and this is Pet of the Week, sponsored by Cottonwood Veterinary and Small Animal Clinic. I'm here at Haven Humane with Katrina and Chucky, and he is up for adoption right now. And Katrina is going to tell us a little bit about Chucky and what kind of family might be a good fit for this little guy.
Yeah, so this is Chucky. We think he's like a Shepherd Corgi mix, and he is about 7 years old. Chucky came into us as a stray. He did come in microchipped, so we know he had a family at some point, but we don't know what happened to them or what happened there. But he's a very sweet boy. You can tell he's been very socialized with people. He's very confident, very easygoing. He's definitely really easy on the leash, which I know is always a plus, especially if you're not, you know, in a position to have a big dog that's like pulling you around or anything. And of course, being 7 years old, he is pretty mellow. So I think he would be a good fit for most households if you're not, you know, ready for a very like energetic dog or a puppy or anything. And he's also a very good size too. He's not, you know, getting any bigger than this. So I just think he's a pretty well-rounded dog that I think would fit into most families.
He is adorable. I love corgis. I love shepherds. This is a fun little mix. And here at Haven Humane, do they have their shots?
Yeah. So we always give them their shots. He is already neutered, luckily, but we would have taken care of that if he needed to. But he's up to date on all of his shots and everything. So we do like, you know, rabies shot, parvo shots, bordetella, all that stuff. And we also heartworm test them. So the works, so to speak.
That's awesome. And they have a great little room here so you can interact with the dog and make sure that it's a good fit. A great space. There's an indoor space, this outdoor space. So yeah, if you're looking for a dog, he's looking for his forever home, and he is adorable. Anything else?
Since he is a senior, his adoption fee is fully sponsored.
Oh, bonus.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Well, that's it for Pet of the Week, and we want to thank you again for tuning in and to Cottonwood Veterinary Clinic for sponsoring this. Thanks again.
So there she was, of course, hanging out with the dog. She said she almost brought Chucky home. That's one of those things where, you know, we got a spoiled dog. I don't know how well Nessie would do with another dog. We'll see. You know, maybe one of these days. But yeah, if you're interested, be sure to call Haven Humane Society and get Chucky into your home. Kind of, you know, is kind of interesting because, you know, I think a lot of people like corgis, but, you know, you kind of look at that dog. I didn't see a whole lot of corgi in it with that shepherd, but a shepherd, I guess, with shorter legs, but certainly longer legs than a normal corgi. So kind of an interesting mix there, and older too. So not going to have like that, you know, puppy energy. So for those of you that like kind of that lower energy, then I think looks like it'd be a good one for you. Laura Bates is saying, what a beautiful face on that pup. Absolutely. Just a gorgeous pup. And I think that's why my wife kind of fell in love with it and wanted to bring it home. But yeah, be sure to call Haven Humane Society if you're interested in that pup. And of course, I want to thank Cottonwood Vet and Small Animal Clinic for their sponsorship of not only Pet of the Week, but of course the Animal Family segment that we have here at Weather NorCal, which of course includes Turtle Bay Wonderful World of Animals. Which, Sharon, if you're watching, I'll be calling you today, or at least texting you, because we have to record some new ones for you. All right, let's check in with everybody, see how you're doing this morning. And we've got Elaine saying good morning. and have a great weekend. One of the things that she's mentioning here, I think it was this one I saw earlier, for a wonderful weekend. Hope you're doing something fun. Thanks for the great weather update. You know, I've got to fill in for Brian this weekend. He's got some things going on over the weekend, so I'll be filling in for him. But overall, I still plan on doing something this weekend. Not exactly sure what that's going to be. I can't do a whole lot because I am going to be stuck kind of in the office through portions of the weekend, but I'll be able to kind of break away every once in a while and maybe go for a hike, hopefully take Nessie out for a walk, or maybe a nice hike with Sadie, my wife, and you know, we'll see what happens. But I do know we got plans on Sunday at least. We've got, I think, a birthday party or something like that. So, yeah, thank you, Elaine. I appreciate the kind words. What else we got here? Good morning. Out of town for a few days. I like this weather, from Curtis. Looks like we've got Richard A. Harden saying good morning. Let's see what he's got going on this morning. He's saying a good morning. Beautiful morning, just sitting out back with my coffee. Thanks for being there. Well, glad I could be here. I'm sitting here in my office. Wish I was with you, hanging out somewhere nice in the cooler weather outside, enjoying it with my cup of coffee. Good. Wasn't there some kind of slogan from a company on that? Today is Friday. We'll have a little bit of fun before we get to the main forecast here. Today's National Rum Day. Those of you that drink rum, maybe an excuse to drink rum. I don't know. There's Honda saying good morning to you. All right. We have all those ads. National Airborne Day. So if you want to go out and jump out of a plane today, maybe a good day to do it. I don't know. National Roller Coaster Day. Okay. I don't think there are really any roller coasters rides near us, at least anything significant. But hey, you know, should be fun if you liked National Tell a Joke Day. I don't know any jokes. I'm not going to try to tell you a joke just off the cuff here because I don't know any good jokes. Why did the chicken cross the road? Get to the other side, right? There you go. Okay, so let's get to the main forecast here. This is the deeper dive forecast, and we're going to be talking about a lot more detail about those thunderstorms that we do expect to see here as we go into the weekend. But before we get to that, we need to mention our sponsor of Coffee with Krueger at Wind River Resort and Casino. Enjoy friendly service, a wide variety of specials and promotions, plus all of your favorite slots and table games. I want to thank Wind River for their support of Weather NorCal and, of course, Coffee with Krueger. All right, here are your current temperatures out there right now. You can see 66 degrees for Redding, a bit warmer in Chico. It's been kind of a little bit warmer there, 72 degrees right now, but 47 El Tourist. Susanville, 52. Look at Bernie. Look at that. Nice start to your day at 44 degrees. 53 for Wairika, and we've got 50 for Eureka. Wairika. Why do they do that? Why do they have to have towns that have those? You know, all right, anyway. Wairika, Eureka. Let's call the whole thing off. No. 57 degrees out in Crescent City, and there you can see Havework about 48 degrees. Weaverville, 49. All right, so here's your weather headlines. Cooler this weekend. And I mean that, folks. We're going to drop well below normal. In fact, 10 degrees below normal in the valley. Showers and thunderstorms Saturday. What? You know, showers? Yeah, we can see that even in the valley. Stronger winds going into the weekend too, especially for your Saturday. We're going to talk about that. So there's really a lot to unpack here. Winds, showers and thunderstorms here, right? Cooler temperatures. And then going into next week, I am just not seeing any major heat waves heading our way. We should stay below 100 degrees in the valley, not only this week, but most likely through next week as well. And that's unusual for August, folks. Very unusual. All right, let's take a look at those winds out there right now. Not an issue. Now today, I'm expecting the winds to be calmer across the board. Yes, a little breezy in some spots, as you can see in the eastern mountains. That's typical. A little breezy in some spots here for especially the west side of the valley. Again, typical, but nothing unusual and nothing, and again, weaker than we've seen. Okay, but as we go into Saturday, watch it just really begin to flare up here. Look at that. I mean, you're getting in the yellows and oranges. That's 30, 35, maybe 40 miles an hour. And that's for the valley. Look at the eastern mountains. This is obviously an area of concern as well. We're talking elevated fire danger. Now, it's not because of showers and thunderstorms. We'll get into why, because we're not going to see any thunderstorms in this area. It's the dry and windy conditions that we're going to see, and we'll see just how dry it's going to be as well. But notice off to the west, the winds aren't as strong. So this is good news, obviously, for the Boise fire. Yeah, the winds are already picking up around the Park fire. That's an issue. That's a concern. All right. And really, we're going to probably see less rain over here, but more rain up over here. And again, you'll see that on a future cast. So I'm a little concerned about those windy conditions over the Park Fire in particular. Maybe a little bit stronger too with those winds over the Boise Fire, but yeah, that's going to be the area we're going to have to watch here closely. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we don't have any major issues. Now, we go into Sunday, and the winds do die down again. Still a little breezy in the east, but it's just mainly going to be Saturday when we do expect to see some of those stronger winds. Now, take a look at the humidity. So for today, we're still in the teens. So again, it's better. It's been better all week, and that's why we really haven't seen a whole lot of change with the Park Fire. The main change has been increased containment, right? But really haven't seen the fire grow. I have not seen the acreage grow through a majority of this week. And then, of course, for the Boise Fire, yes, it's grown, but the humidity has been really good up there. They've been seeing really good humidity recovery, giving them really good overnight operations and really getting ahead of the fire. But even during the day, the humidity levels have been a little bit better as well, which is why over the last few days we haven't seen a ton of activity. Then we go into 5 p.m. Saturday. Look at the humidity level in Chico, 32%. The valley in general, you're talking 30 upwards of close to 40%. This is awesome. You're going to feel the mugginess, muggy for us. You'll also notice kind of along the ridge here, some higher humidity levels there. Now, again, with those strong winds on Saturday, that'll help to offset a little bit the winds. So when you have strong winds, higher humidity, yes, the fire danger will still be high, and we still got to watch out for that. The fires that are burning, they do react to the higher humidity levels, at least the fuels do. Okay, so when you have higher humidity, the fuels become less tender, they become less dry. So it's harder for the fires to burn those fuels. That said, when you have a gusty wind, it's easier for the fire to burn because it's got more oxygen. So it's kind of one of those catch-22 type of situations. So here's the deal. I will say this. Humidity levels will help to offset those winds. But for the Park Fire, there's still going to be an area to watch. It's something the firefighters are probably concerned about. But I mean, look at the humidity levels up near Hoopa and of course where the Boise Fire is. I mean, you're getting some really high relative humidity levels out there. And again, the winds aren't as strong there either. Then we go into Sunday, we're back down to very dry conditions again, especially down towards the Park Fire. And of course, it gets a little bit drier also towards the Boise Fire. So again, talking about that fire weather watch, this is because we're expecting those windy conditions I was just talking about and dry conditions. So should a new fire start, they could spread quite rapidly because it will be very dry and it'll be very windy for your Saturday afternoon. Something to think about. So just a reminder, friendly reminder, I know you probably know this, but there are some of you who may not. Don't drive on grass, on dry grass in particular. The heat underneath your car can spark a fire. Don't let those chains, if you're towing a trailer, drag on the ground. They can spark, make sparks on the concrete or the pavement. That spark can go into the dry grass next to it, and next thing you know, you got a fire. So yeah, be careful of that. Never toss cigarettes on the ground. Use grills on gravel or paved surfaces. Don't mow the lawn in general if it's dead grass, especially when it's windy and dry out. All right? Very important to remember that. Never leave fires unattended and always properly extinguish those fires. Again, just some friendly reminders. So you can see here as we go into this afternoon and evening, the conditions will improve. And we're not going to see probably as much smoke coming in from the Boise Fire thanks to the higher humidity, thanks to the potential for that rain out there. And as a result, we are going to really kind of clear that air out. I think many of us have been dealing with a lot of smoke. We'll be dealing with some really good clear air from some of that new rain that'll kind of push on through. Now, I don't anticipate kind of a widespread area of rain, and we'll get into that here in a second. This is the area of low pressure right here, actually. You've got the cold front associated with that. That is what's going to be kind of pushing through. All right, so that's what's in store for us. Let's take a look at that on Futurecast. We'll walk you through the timing of all this. So this afternoon, typical again, afternoon cumulus clouds, especially in Siskiyou County, maybe a stray sprinkle, light shower, but I don't anticipate anything beyond that. Maybe even some afternoon clouds out towards Modoc County, northern Lassen, maybe even a few afternoon clouds out in parts of the north end of the valley, in particular in the foothills there. But I don't anticipate any rain at this point. Okay. Now, things get a little bit more interesting on Saturday, so kind of watch closely here. There is the main cold front right here. By noon, it's still pretty far off to the west here, but then we start to see, you'll have to, excuse me, this is actually where the cold front is right here. So by the early afternoon hours, you're going to start to see those showers and thunderstorms begin to spark up along that cold front. So just west of the valley around Redding. So I think we could already say maybe Old Shasta, French Gulch, for example. There you can see some of the showers and thunderstorms that may develop, and maybe even around Redding and maybe towards city of Shasta Lake. But you'll notice west of Red Bluff and Corning, most likely still dry there. Meanwhile, we do have in western Siskiyou County, looking at some thunderstorms developing there. Now, in between these two, this activity, we could see some stray showers and some stray thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. You see how it mainly pushes to the north. See the flow? The flow is coming in from the southwest. So these thunderstorms and showers will move to the north-northeast. So around Redding, you see the thunderstorms popping up. You see some thunderstorms here in central Siskiyou County, one right around Wairika, Mount Shasta City. Again, stray shower, maybe a thunderstorm here as well, but some activity off to the west. Then we go into tomorrow evening around 6 p.m. Again, around Redding, north of Redding. You've seen the thunderstorms. And look at Bernie. Bernie, Fall River Mills, you may see a stray shower thunderstorm. Montgomery Creek. South of that, though, Red Bluff, Corning, you see how the chances are beginning to diminish at this point. And we're really not seeing anything for Chico. Okay, so we go into 8 p.m. on Saturday. Now it's mainly pushing to the north. It's become a little less intense because we're losing that daytime heating of the sun. But we still have showers and thunderstorms in Siskiyou County. Things are dry in the valley at this point, and we're not seeing a lot of activity to the west of that either. In fact, by 10 o'clock, most of it's gone. But look at Sunday morning. There's a little bit of leftover instability along the coast, especially around Crescent City, maybe Eureka, maybe a stray sprinkle or light shower Sunday morning. But by Sunday afternoon, you really kind of see a lot of those clouds begin to dissipate. So should be a better afternoon on Sunday. And then if we go into next week, we've got a kind of an area of low pressure that's going to kind of wobble around going up and north through next week. That's going to keep our temperatures down, but I don't anticipate any rain coming from it. You'll notice on Friday, we may see some clouds move in. There's that area of low pressure. We'll have to see exactly where that goes. I mean, they're going a long ways out, but all the monsoon moisture too is off toward east. So again, once we get past Saturday, we'll most likely remain dry for the rest of the weekend and through next week. So let's take a look at that area of low pressure. The big heat stays away. That's the big headline. Here's the big heat. It stays there. And the reason being, we've got this low pressure system here. Now that's going to dive down to the south. This will be responsible for that cold front passing through, the gusty winds coming in from the south and west. That's going to keep the heat down to our south and east. It migrates to the north. So as we go into Sunday, Monday, see how it kind of retreats a little bit. This will allow some of this heat to move in. So we'll probably see a slight increase in our temperatures, especially by Monday and into Tuesday of next week. But then it comes back down to the south by the middle and latter part of next week, moves up to the north. These two areas of low pressure will kind of pass each other. This one will come back around, bring in some cooler air along with it. This is Thursday of next week, folks. So as that comes in and as these two kind of pass each other, this heat may kind of come in around Wednesday of next week. And then cooler air comes in by Thursday and Friday and even Saturday. This area of low pressure just kind of continues to dive down to the south, keeping that heat from moving on in. So yes, the area of low pressure that's close to us now will keep our temperatures down, and then this one that'll be coming in later next week will kind of help to reinforce that and keep that heat down to our south and east. So yeah, we're in that near normal category. The normal high for the valley is somewhere in the upper 90s, so we'll probably be getting close to the mid to maybe some upper 90s for some of the warmer spots by around midweek next week. But overall, I mean, that warmer air is basically staying to our east. Take a look at August. All right, we started off August with 100 degrees or higher, except for that first Saturday of August. But then all of that first full week of August was 100 degrees or higher. All this week, and of course, including today, we will be below 100 degrees. Great news. And if we extend into next week, we're staying below 100 degrees. So we'll probably be looking at 2 weeks straight below 100. In fact, below normal. Again, 98 is the normal high for Redding. Probably around 96, 97 elsewhere as you head south in the valley. But upper 80s over the weekend. Look at that. I mean, we could even drop down into the upper 80s by Friday. Again, that area of low pressure will kind of really help to give us some of that cooler air. So gorgeous weather, temperature-wise, going into next week. All right, let's take a look at your wave heights. Not much going on here for today, but as that storm system approaches on Saturday, we probably, especially as you start heading out, be looking at some slightly higher wave heights, but nothing of major concern. You can see those winds from the northwest at 5 knots. There will still be some of that patchy, dense fog out there. All right, let's take a look at your forecast for today. Your detailed Trinity County neighborhood forecast, which, by the way, this fly-through what I do here, for each county, I have included that 1 day a week. I have included, you go to the website or on the app, you click on your neighborhood. I do a recording every morning, at least at this point, Monday through Friday. Since I'll be here this weekend, I'll do it on the weekend as well. But Monday through Friday, you'll be able to go to your neighborhood and watch a detailed forecast just for your neighborhood. So for Trinity County, we'll just kind of go for the forecast for the day, but you'll get that detailed forecast much like what you're seeing here. So you can go to that as a great resource. But again, kind of back to the forecast here. Trinity County, showers and thunderstorms by Saturday. A bit on the hazy side today because of the Boise fire. We take it to the North Coast neighborhood forecast, 81 for Miranda, 85 for Garberville. There's that chance for thunderstorms on Saturday. Pretty much everywhere in the North Coast. You got showers and thunderstorms in the forecast. I've still got a slight chance, especially in the morning, for the immediate coast and some of the areas neighboring the coast as well. So Hoopa, you're looking at dry conditions by Sunday. But still a chance for showers and thunderstorms on Saturday. And then as you can see as we go into next week, dry and a little bit warmer. 72 degrees for Gas Key today, 62 degrees for Crescent City, and Oric about 66 degrees. We take you off of your Siskiyou County neighborhood forecast. Dry today, although there may be a stray sprinkle for some of us, especially in the mountains. For Scott Valley, you've got the hazy conditions here, maybe a stray sprinkle. Otherwise, the better chances for showers and thunderstorms will be on Saturday, dry on Sunday, dry through next week. We take it to central and eastern Siskiyou County. Mount Shasta, thunderstorms tomorrow, dry on Sunday, low 80s as we take it through next week, and dry too. 84 degrees for Fort Bidwell. Now, I put a slight chance for a PM shower here and there for parts of Modoc County. Don't count on it. I'm expecting mainly dry conditions for your Saturday night, and Sunday. Dry for the weekend. Now, for the eastern mountains, again, I have to mention this. Bernie, you'll notice you got mainly sunny skies. Here's the thing. I'm expecting that northeastern Shasta County, so you go to Montgomery Creek, maybe as far south as Shingletown, Viola, Old Station, Hack Creek, Fall River Mills, you start getting the outer fringes here, chances are slimmer. But Bernie, you could get caught up in some of those showers and thunderstorms here tomorrow evening, into early Sunday morning. So just be on the lookout for that. Just be aware of that as you go into the first half of the weekend. Meanwhile, to the south, Lake Almanor, Chester, dry through the weekend. Temperatures a little bit warmer going into next week. I think Mineral, Paradise, you should be dry tomorrow. Dry tomorrow, no thunderstorms. I mean, I've got a slight chance in there for Saturday for Paradise, but honestly, I think it'll be mainly dry. And of course, Susanville, you're dry as well. Temperatures in the mid to upper 80s here going through a good portion of next week. Here's your Valley neighborhood forecast to the south. I put a slight chance in there for Chico, but again, at Chico, probably dry on Saturday. Certainly keep a close eye on that. You head north of Chico, chances increase for chances for showers and thunderstorms tomorrow. That is for Saturday. But for today, the hazy skies, otherwise sunny. Temperatures mid-90s for today. Let's take a look at your 7-day outlook for Redding. Chance for showers, thunderstorms on Saturday, dry on Sunday. The cooler air will still be in place on Sunday, despite the fact they'll be looking at sunny skies and drier conditions. So a gorgeous weekend temperature-wise. And then it warms up a little bit here, stays dry, with temperatures in the low 90s for Monday through Thursday of next week. That's your forecast, folks. That's your detailed forecast. Hopefully you got the information needed. By the way, as I mentioned, I want you to check this out. This is a new thing that I'm doing here at Weather NorCal. Well, a couple of things we'll kind of mention here for Weather NorCal. And you go to weathernorcal.com first and foremost. Let's let that load up. There we go. And you can, of course, see, just kind of give you a quick tour of the web page. So you notice at the very top, well, as you go to the top of the page here, you've got the live streaming channel. So there's the live streaming channel right there. You go down here, if you want to watch what you're watching right now, eventually, because it's recording as we speak, I then take that recording and I upload it to YouTube. You can get it from the website. You click on this banner right here. Let's click on it. So you can see the forecast from yesterday. Look at my funny face. It just takes a random shot. I love what YouTube does sometimes. But there it is, yesterday's Coffee with Krueger, right? Made possible by Wind River Resort and Casino. We take you back. You can do Ag Report. You can check out the latest in the fire conditions here, and it starts you off with watch duty there. And of course, you can go to the zones as far as any watches and orders here. Warnings, evacuation warnings and orders. So we take it back here. Of course, you got the ag report, you got road conditions, you got animal family for Turtle Bay 1 for World of Animals, all of that. And then, of course, you got the current conditions, radars, 7-day forecast. And this is kind of a visual representation of all the different neighborhoods that we go into. So let's go into that. And by the way, always at the top, you see the main headline bar, you got neighborhoods, Valley, Trinity County, North Coast, Siskiyou County, Modoc County. So let's click on Siskiyou County. And Siskiyou County, there it is. You can watch right there a video of your planner, the fly-through that we just watched, and the 7-day forecast. You get all of that from the neighborhood forecast. You can also read the discussion that I try to update every morning. Sometimes I get a little busy. And then, of course, you can take a look at some of the just the still images of pretty much what we go through during this video right here. So check it out. Check out your neighborhood. Check out neighborhood you may be going to. If you're going to be doing some hiking or anything like that for Northern California, you can watch these videos and see what the weather's going to be like for that day that you're checking out. So I'm really excited about that. That's kind of a new thing I'm offering here. Just kind of a little bit, just kind of changed up my workflow in the morning here, but not a big deal. Glad to do it, just to make things as easy and as easily accessible for you as possible, because I know people love all that stuff. Okay, so yeah, there you go. Chappie saying yes, your website is very friendly. Glad you enjoy it. Do you think Red Bluff will get a thunderstorm? So Richard is asking this. It's a very good, legitimate question, and that's what I love about what we're doing here, folks. We can do that. So Richard is asking, do you think Red Bluff will get a thunderstorm? I think Red Bluff is in that transition between where the best chances for thunderstorms are to where the smallest chances. So Redding has the best chance in the valley, really city of Shasta Lake, Old Shasta, for example. Chico has a much smaller chance. There's a very good chance Chico could make it through the day without even seeing a shower or a thunderstorm. Red Bluff, you're in between all of that. Red Bluff, I think, will be in the very southern fringe, southeastern fringe of where those showers and thunderstorms will be. So to answer your question, do I think it could happen? Sure, it could, but I'd say don't count on it. Just keep it close on the radar. If you got the app, you can track the storms. And of course, I'll be updating. I'm going to be here this weekend, and if anything major should occur, I can go live. I'll push out a push notification to let you know that I'm going live, and you can check it all out. So there you go. That should hopefully answer your question there, Richard. Glad to answer it for you. If any other have questions, let me know. What do you call an angry carrot? We got a joke. Today's Give a Joke Day. And Mark is giving us a joke. So here's his joke. His joke is, and before I put it up, let's see what his joke. What do you call an angry carrot? Anybody know? Anybody know? A steamed vegetable. All right. Hey, you gotta love it. Tell a joke day. There you go. So think of your favorite joke, like this one from Mark, and tell it, just like he shared it with us. Thank you, Mark, for that little bit of comic relief. Good was a slogan for Campbell's Soup, chicken noodle soup. Okay, I think, what was it? Oh yeah, yes, I remember that. Good. That's what it was. Yeah, there you go. Got it. That is coming from Kathy Rivera. She's saying, good was a slogan for Campbell's chicken noodle soup. All right. Fun. Well, I'm glad you all could kind of chime in this morning and get a little bit more interactive. It is Friday, folks, so we're getting ready to wrap up the week. I'm really excited about that. So there you have it. That's your forecast. That's your Friday. And you can catch my forecast for the rest of the day today at noon, at 6 p.m. You can watch the latest video forecast there. Also, I will be doing the video forecasts and the forecast in general through the weekend. Brian Wilson has the weekend off, so I'll be doing the morning, noon, and evening updates for you with the latest forecast. So, until you see me next time, which, of course, Coffee with Krueger will be on Monday of next week, we will see you. Have yourselves a great weekend, and stay safe out there, everybody. Have a great weekend. I'm going to eventually get out of here. Oh, yeah, I'm going to leave you with some, well, let's leave you with some photos, or not photos, but cameras. It's Friday. I'm ready to get out of here, but let's get you some cameras and kind of wrap things up here this morning. Again, have a great weekend.